and I hope I pronounced this right. Jenny Clark, known to wrestling fans as Lady Blossom from WCW. She used to manage Stone Cold Steve Austin, known then as Stunning Steve Austin. Hey,
Hello, how you doing?
okay. How are you doing?
Well, I'm in shock at the moment. Probably about 10, 15 minutes ago, I saw online that Dusty had died. Of course, he was like a massive part of me getting into WCW because he was the one that actually hired me and gave me my name. So yeah, I mean, I'm just a little bit shocked right now. It's surreal.
Yeah, it's very very hard, very hard to believe and hard to grasp. I mean, Dusty was one of one of those people like Ric Flair and other names out there that you think that would be here, would be here. I mean,
so unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's shocking. My co-host is Harold. Harold, you there?
Good evening, or
Hi, Harold. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good to meet you. Hello.
May I ask, where are you? Are you in England right now?
Yeah, I'm just east of London. I've been here for quite a few years now. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that's where you were. Okay, thank you for answering that.
Yeah, just after 8 p.m.
Okay, right. I know there's a time difference because I used to live in Germany when I was in the service a few years back. Anyway, thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
How did you get in with WCW? You touched on that just a few moments ago, but
with WCW, I was obviously working with Steve at World Class, and that shut down, I think, around 1990. And Steve had gone to Memphis to work that territory. I had stayed in Dallas. We were dating, and I used to sort of fly into Memphis. And actually, I did a few spot shows there as well. But when we were in Dallas, Steve was hanging out at my house quite a bit, and he was expecting a call from Magnum TA, who was the booker, I think, with Dusty at that time. And Magnum had put a call in for Steve. Steve hadn't got back from the gym yet, and I just happened to answer the phone. And Magnum and I just got into a conversation. Is that where he's from? Da-da-da. What do you do? And I said, well, actually, I've been working with Steve in World Class. And they had hired a girl to be with Steve. Her name was Valet Veronica. For some reason, I don't know why, but they wasn't too happy with her. And Magnum says, oh, send us a tape of your matches with Steve, or the ex-wife angle that we'd done at World Class. And the next thing, he called me back, and he said, not that long after, and he said, would you go to meet Dusty in Houston? Fly in there on a few days after. It was a Thursday, and I flew in to interview with Dusty, and he hired me that day. So that's basically how I got into WCW.
Wow.
In the 90s, you had a feud. You actually had a feud with Chris Adams' ex, Tony Adams. You had a feud with her in the 90s in World Class Championship Wrestling.
Well, yeah, the feud was called the ex-wife angle. It was Steve and Chris and Tony and I. It was a four-way feud. Yeah.
Okay.
And how was it you wrestled in some intergender matches? Did you like that?
Do you mean the one-on-one matches? Excuse me.
Yeah, in Texas.
Chris was the creative person that did everything with the ex-wife angle. I mean, originally I was just coming out as Steve's valet, and we were doing interviews and getting involved in matches. And then as the angle went on, then Chris did some one-on-one matches, if you can call it that, with Tony. And with Tony and I were already established, very good friends. We'd been friends 3 or 4 years before that, so we knew each other well. We had good chemistry, and she was more like a sister to me, really. We hung out all the time, went shopping, and it was really good. It was a lot of fun back then as well at the Sportatorium.
Now I know that you got your name, Lady Blossom, from Dusty Rhodes. I think in all tribute to Dusty Rhodes. Can you tell the fans how that actually came about? I think if Dusty Rhodes can look down on us right now, I think he would get a kick out of this. So can you tell the fans how that came about?
Yeah. I mean, I flew into the first TV tapings in Atlanta, and I rejoined Steve there, and he actually did say to me, Dusty said to me, we don't know what we're going to call you yet. And I think he said, we're going to, see what your input is as well. And then he said, a few minutes later, did you come up with anything of your own? And I hadn't. And he said, we're going to call you Lady Blossom. And I wasn't, blessed, but I wasn't like that impressed, and neither was Steve. He was like, oh, I don't know. But I think at the time I had one of my dresses on that kind of showed a lot of cleavage, to be honest. And he said to me, well, you're blossoming out of your dress, Lady Blossom. So that's basically how it started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the truth.
What did you think about his name of Stunning Steve Austin?
I liked his name. Dutch Mantell gave Steve that name, and Steve liked it a lot as well. Worked out, obviously, when he went to WWE, he did not like the name The Ringmaster, and obviously that's where the name Stone Cold, he wanted that character. Like, that story's been said quite a few times by him and myself. But Stunning Steve Austin was good. Yeah, we liked that one when he was using that in Memphis. He was using Steve Williams when he first started out, and then Stunning Steve Austin going into WCW up until, I think the whole time he was in WCW, actually, he was Stunning Steve Austin.
Yes, if I can remember correctly, he was.
Good name, yeah.
Yeah.
Now as Lady Blossom, you constantly interfered in Austin's TV title matches with PN News, and every time close to the 10-minute time limit was nearing the draw, you would always interfere in the match, and just as Austin was about to be pinned, and you always caused a disqualification. How did that make the other? I know it was all part of the storyline and everything, but I mean, how did that make the other wrestlers feel when they were fixing to get the TV title and stuff from Stunning Steve, and then you would interfere and you would either claw them with your fingernails or you would interfere and cost them from pinning Austin?
Oh, they were perfectly fine with it. The first belt that Steve got, I think it was the TV title. My memory is a little bit, but that was a match with Bobby Eaton, and just before the finish, I came in and caused Bobby to lose the TV title. But no, they were great. All the guys, they never got upset. They felt okay with that. They helped me out a lot as well, because I hadn't really done any work in a major organisation, and I look back at it, and Bobby's like got hold of my hands, and he's holding them on his eyes, and he's pulling me along, and I'm just following him. It was brilliant. It was brilliant to work with. So they all helped me out, yeah, because I really didn't have a lot of experience at that time with the bigger organisations and away from Chris and Tony. So yeah, it was. They were great. Yeah, very, very, very cool.
Okay.
Now, what do you think when sometimes your interference caused like a backfire, as they would say?
What do you mean a backfire? Excuse me, I don't know that term.
Means like when you would try to help, but sometimes your man would lose or something like that.
Well, yeah. Steve and I just laugh about it, really. Afterwards, we just thought it was a lot of fun. We were both so excited to get into WCW because Steve was starving out in Memphis and Dallas, and it was just part of the show. It was a lot of fun.
Did you have any involvement creatively in doing any of that?
Not in WCW. Dusty gave us all of that info prior to the match. In World Class, we did a lot of ad-lib because it was Chris's angle, really. Chris told Jerry Jarrett, who was running WCW at that, World Class at that time, and Chris would just say, well, go out there and just do something, So Steve and I could do what we wanted much more in a creative way, but it was very strict in WCW. You did what you were told to do, and, we didn't have any creative input. I didn't have any creative input. I can't speak for Steve. I don't think he did until he got to WWE, where he was really, saying how the match should go. So, he'd got more experience. And but when I was working with WCW, I did everything they told me to do.
Oh, okay.
Now I have to ask. I know that you were in a relationship with the late Chris Adams, as well as the late William Billy Jack Haynes, and also
the late Billy Jack Haynes. Did you say?
Yes.
But he's alive and kicking, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's passed away, Brian.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay. I must have got him mixed up with. I'm sorry. I must have got.
No, Bob. Gino Hernandez. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a relationship with both of those. Yes.
Okay. How was that? How was that experience? Dating a professional wrestler. I mean, how did that feel? That experience.
Well, Chris and I met in England in 1978 when I was 19, and I had never been to a wrestling match ever before, so I met Chris right away.
Oh wow!
He was just like into his judo, and he'd only been wrestling, I think, about a year, and I didn't know anything about the wrestling, nothing. I, never watched it. So then I happened to go to a match with my friend, and I met Chris. But when we started dating, anything to do with wrestling, I didn't know anything about it. But we lived together, and we came to the States together in 1980, I believe. So we lived in Santa Monica. He just starting out in the States.
California.
And in California, and then he went to Mexico, and then we went to Oregon together, where we did split up. Yeah, and I'm going to be writing a lot about this because I'm doing a book. But when we split up, I didn't have a green card, and I guess you would say I was an illegal alien in a way because Chris had a work permit, but as far as me, I had to, anything I'd done, which was a lot of modelling and stuff at that time, I had to ask for cash for it because I technically couldn't work legally. And when Chris and I split up, Billy and I became really good friends, and he helped me out really for a short period of time. I wouldn't say it was a major relationship with Billy. It was just he was a really good friend. He helped me out. I got a green card and we got an amicable divorce, and that wasn't a really big relationship. As Chris and I was obviously together for 5 years before we split, and then we came back together as friends when we did the angle with Tony and Steve. So Chris and I were friends throughout, right up until he died. But we had a little break from our friendship after we split, and then we got back together as, really good mates.
I want to say I want to make a correction. What had happened? Billy Jack Haynes. I got him mixed up with a wrestler named Billy Joe Travis, who passed away a couple of years ago.
Billy Joe Travis.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
That's who I got him mixed up with.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna? You go ahead and ask a question, Harold, and then I'll try to remember what I was gonna ask because it slipped my mind.
Okay. Recently, I've been reading and got lucky to actually get some autographs from some of the British wrestlers that are having reunions over there. Do you ever go to any of those reunions over there in England?
Do you know, I haven't, but I am going to the one coming up because they've actually asked me to accept an award for Chris for contribution to wrestling. I'm really looking forward to it, and I do know the UK crew because when Chris and I met, we would travel with Tony Banger Walsh and Jackie Turpin, and Big Daddy was at the shows, and I know he's passed away now, but a lot of the guys at the reunion I haven't seen for 30 years, so it's going to be amazing, and that's coming up in August this year,
okay.
So I'm really excited about going, yeah.
Well, we're lucky here in Georgia because, we have like Dave Taylor's here, and William Regal, we see him from time to time, or Steven Regal, and some others.
Wow.
So
we're still there, yeah.
I'm
and
excited
also,
whenever I see him.
Dave Finley too. Dave Finley as
well.
well.
Fit Finley, yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was Chris Adams. He was always one of my favorite wrestlers. I remember watching him in World Class and everything, and they always called him the Gentleman, Chris Adams. And then I seen him in WCW, and he was just always one of my favorites. And then when I heard of his passing, that was really sad and devastating. And I know that he also trained Stunning Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, to wrestle and everything. And he was just one of my all-time favorites.
He didn't get that much credit, really. No.
Yeah, well, he was the first one I know of to do the super kick, so
He was, yeah.
I always enjoyed
1970.
That. Right.
I think he should have got
a lot of the boys copied that.
Yes, a lot of people have copied that.
How was it? Did you ever work? Just out of curiosity, because I know you were. It says you were in World Class from 1990 to 91. Did you ever get a chance or opportunity to work at any of the Super Clashes, or that was before then?
I'm not familiar with it, so it probably was before, yeah.
Okay. Well, we have a little bit of a name game that we do on the show, and I'm gonna name 5 different women, which known as divas, knockouts, valets. I don't really know what they were, called back in WCW because it's changed so much. But I'm gonna name 5 different ones, and I want you to give me your opinion of them. Okay. The first one is Missy Hyatt.
Missy was a really good friend of mine. She was in WCW when I went in. She made me feel really welcome, and we still talk to this day. I spoke to her on Facebook, I think, a few weeks ago. I always got along really well with Missy. We used to go out in Atlanta. She invited me to her flat lot. We hung out all the time, and I thought she was really great. I mean, I remember Missy not when I was working, before I was working, when she was with John Tatum in Texas, and I always liked her personality. She was nice to me, and I just thought she was brilliant, really, yeah. I liked Missy a lot.
Okay, the second one is woman.
Nancy. Yeah, I never was working with Nancy. I saw her when she showed up at the WCW shows, and we'd have a coffee and chat. You know, I didn't know her other than to say hi and bye, really. I didn't see her with Chris Benoit very much in WWE when I went to the pay-per-views with Steve, and obviously I was hanging out with WWE crew all the time because Steve was working there when I was married to him. But from her pictures and that, you know, I think she was very well respected by the boys and everything. I'm really sad about her too. What happened?
Yes, that was awful. The third name is Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa came into WCW as I was leaving. I got a better relationship with Terry and Missy because I would see them every TV tapings. I wouldn't only go on the road, but I would. When Medusa came in, we did a little bit of work. I was already pregnant with Stephanie. I thought she was highly athletic, amazing, actually. She's been to Japan, and wow, you know, it was a wow factor with her, actually. She's totally amazing. Very, very nice person.
Okay, the fourth name is Terry Reynolds.
Yeah, Terry. I saw Terry all the time. She was working as a makeup artist. We'd sit and chat, and I knew Terry as well. Her and Dustin, her husband at the time, would come over to visit with Steve and I at our log home we had in Atlanta. I actually got along really well with all the women. I don't have anything bad about any of them. Terry was coming over to the UK a few years ago, and we hooked up in London. So, yeah, I'll see Terry, actually, in a couple of weeks, because she's going to be at the PSI convention in London with Sean, and Brett's going to be there. I'm not doing the convention. I'm just going as a guest as one of the wrestlers. So I'm actually excited to see her after all these years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
cool.
the last name is one of my all-time favorites. I don't even think she wrestles anymore, but her name is Bambi.
I've never met her. I don't know her. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Are you involved in any of the wrestling that is going on in England now, or have you pretty much retired from the business?
Yeah, at my age I would, but to be honest, I did get a call from one of the promoters here, and he did ask me if I would work one of the shows, and I said, you know, I'm in my 50s now, and I didn't think, you know, I'd have that kind of stamina anymore, but he's asked me to do a special guest appearance, and that's in October, so I might just go down and say hi, you know, but no, I'm not sort of doing any in-ring or ballet at the moment, no.
Oh, okay.
Now I have to ask. I know that you're located in London. Have you had any talks with possibly going and working for Alex Wright's wrestling out of Germany?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I've never heard of that. I'm sorry.
You haven't? Oh, okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I wanna say that I absolutely love your accent, Jenny. I love hearing people talk from England and Great Britain and all different countries. I love your accent.
I like yours too. It's nice because I really miss the States. I'll be heading back there soon, but it's just 22 years I lived in the States, and it's just so nice to hear the American accent. It just reminds me of so many memories I had over there. And my daughter lives, one of my daughters lives in Florida, one lives in Los Angeles, and they've still got, my daughter's definitely still got her British sort of half and half accent now. And I just love hearing, I miss the States so much, and it's just really cool hearing you guys as well.
Thank you.
Can you tell us when you said you were working on a book? Do you have any time frame as to when that may be out?
It should be out really early next year. We're on several chapters done now, almost done. We've completed quite a lot of work on it, so it's definitely happening. I've got a publisher and a really cool writer, and he's brilliant, and should be around, early part of next year. It's quite exciting. It's a great project for me to do.
Do you know if it'll be available like on Amazon or something? Do you know that?
Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted on that on my Facebook page.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Do you ever? I know back in the early I know back in the 90s, back before you started getting in the wrestling business, that you used to model. Do you still model, or you don't do that anymore?
No, not now. I modeled mainly because I had to at the time, because when Chris and I got to Los Angeles, we had some savings, but we didn't have a lot of money, and Chris was only getting like one show or two shows a week for like a $40 payoff. So we were poor, so poor. And I saw these ads for models, and it saved us really, because I was working 5 days a week and $100, $200 a day, sometimes up to $1,000. And I'm writing all about that, but it was great because we managed to use that money to get a car and an apartment, and that we didn't have to stay in like really, really bad hotels with no AC at the time, or sleep on the beach even. So yeah, but the modeling was great. I enjoyed it. It was a chance for us to survive in the States when we first came there.
That's great that it provided a way to help y'all out money wise and everything.
Chris got money wise, and then Chris obviously he got to go to Portland, and his wrestling got better, and the money got better, and that. And then obviously I was pregnant. I had Jade, Chris and I's daughter, and then I couldn't model at that time, obviously, because I was pregnant. But it was a means to survive at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of your children, are any of them interested in pro wrestling, or would you tell them to do it or not to do anything in it?
Well, my daughter Jade is married to a pro wrestler, but she's not involved in doing any wrestling herself. No, Stephanie and Cassie, my daughters with Steve, haven't shown any interest. But if they wanted to, then that's up to them. But they haven't at the minute. No, never say never. But no, not at the moment.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, just out of curiosity, who is your daughter married to? This pro?
She's married to an English wrestler called Adam Windsor.
I've heard that name.
He worked with Dory. Whether he's actively wrestling right now. I have no idea. But he's from Ocala. They live in Ocala, Florida, and it's a bit strange, but that's kind of like the people that you meet when you're involved in the business. So he's very happily married. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm about done. I can't think of too much more.
Yeah,
we appreciate you
so much.
Yes, we
appreciate it.
we thank you for taking time out to come on and and be a part of the show.
Well, thank you.
All right, take care. God bless.
God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jenny Clark, formerly as Lady Blossom.